Going live. Everybody likes to say hello to Lucy. Don't run off. Hey, everybody. Gang's all here, including Lucy. Becca was crocheting there.
Making a blanket. Still waiting very impatiently for Michael's to restock because I have like $20-something worth of vouchers that I need to use before they expire, and I don't want to buy yarn I don't need, but the one that I do need, nowhere in stock. So we shall see.
So, what you got going on, Johnny?
Nothing. Thank goodness. So, April, I think, we'll do another beginner's class, but that's in April. So, I got nothing until then.
Miss Becca, you got anything going on?
Not really, but can I share something with you guys?
My goodness.
And the class.
Uh-huh.
So we took little Miss Braxy to the beach yesterday. We were there for like a good 4 or 5 hours. And when we go to the beach, we take her to the groomers right after. And the groomer videoed her. Let me show you little Miss Braxy at the groomer, because you ready? You ready for this?
Oh, wait, let me make you bigger. Hang on.
Like she's being killed or something. You're singing in the shower. That's all it is.
You want to get Braxy. How are you 120 pounds and still this big of a baby? How, Braxy? Tell me. Yeah, tell me. Okay. All right.
Why'd you leave me here?
What did I do to deserve this? What the hell? I don't know what I did, but I swear I'll never do it again. I promise. Oh God! And it was worse when she was getting the blow dry. But oh man, such a brat, such a huge little brat, man.
She's not a big fan of water. You can tell that when you go to the beach. She's not a
when
big
it's her
fan.
choice, yes, but when somebody's spraying it on her, not so much, I guess.
Yeah, it's just, she had fun at the beach yesterday. She made a lot of friends and ran around and, had a good time. But yeah, she was not happy at the groomers. So now when they tell me that she whined the whole time, now I know exactly what. Because she would not stop, the groomer said, like the whole time she was just miserable, just crying. Why are you doing this to me? Oh, so when she got home, I gave her a little puppy ice cream from Ben and Jerry's, and she was happy.
I was gonna say, stop for a pup cup on the way home.
Yeah, I got her puppy ice cream, a 4-pack at the pet store. So she had ice cream after dinner.
Yeah, it is a potato saying cats are self-cleaning. That's why I like cats, because you don't have to bathe them.
Yeah, but
You got to pick up their remnants though after they cough it all back up.
Lucy's the only one that tends to get fur balls with her long fur. the kittens, as I call them, they're going to be 4 years old in April. Can you believe
I
that?
can't believe
April
that.
2nd.
I can't believe that at all. I remember when they were itty bitty babies.
When we introduced them on Johnny's channel that
Yeah.
night, and I held each one up.
What did I name them? Chaos, Mayhem, and Pandemonium. I remember when they were tiny, tiny little things, just tiny. I can't believe they're going to be 4 years old. Time
They're
flies. Seriously. Oh, I got this new chair, you guys. It's a rocking chair and a recliner. So I sit here like a little old lady crocheting my blanket, watching YouTube and reading books on my little. On
That
my
was the
little-
first thing that popped in my head. I'm like, she's knitting in her rocking chair.
my rocking chair.
Johnny, you used to say you have an old black woman in you.
I do.
Johnny, you
She's
need
part
to
of my past life or something, but yeah, I can hear.
you should get one of these and channel your inner black old lady because
She didn't sew; she cooked.
this one,
cook,
well, it's
but-
not really a rocking chair. It's a glider. I guess you're supposed to use it for nursing babies, but I was like, it reclines and it rocks. Add to
Well, maybe
cart.
she does sew. I always wanted to sew. I just never did.
Oh, I can't even sew a button, dude. Like it's bad.
I used to thread all my mother's needles because she couldn't see the little eye in there.
Mhm. I don't even know why I got it. Well, I'll tell you how I got it into my head. I saw this girl on TikTok that was making sweatshirts with embroidered patches for every book that she's read that she liked. And I was like, oh, I can do that. So I went to Michael's and I bought all the stuff that I needed, minus the sweatshirt. You need to go get a sweatshirt. And I was like, girl, you can't even sew. Like, how are you supposed to do all these 8 million different stitches and you can't even sew?
You can't sew yet.
He's like, oh God, I did not think this through.
You're
The
crafty.
heroine said, "Mima power."
These are my pets. They don't need grooming. They don't need nothing.
They don't need feeding.
Is that a
walking.
new one?
You bought it.
Oh, your little collection's back there. I just
Yeah.
remember the cupcake one.
You bought this one too.
Is that the cupcake one?
No, this is the cupcake. It still smells.
Johnny still plays with dolls.
Mhm. And bears.
Care Bear dolls
So
and voodoo dolls.
Mhm.
speaking of voodoo dolls,
Becca's ready tonight.
I'm ready tonight.
Lord have mercy.
I'm ready tonight. So I
If I
need
get the hot Cheeto, does it mean he's blushing? Can
I
orange
had-
people blush?
I had to get snacks for the beach yesterday, so I picked up the
Lucky.
Cheetos.
Lucky Girl's posting the link to the video where I introduced the kittens.
Oh my gosh.
They were so little.
I saw a little Cane Corso puppy yesterday at the beach. His name was Spade and he was 8 months old. And I was like, I remember when Braxy was that little. And she grew up so
It was
fast.
never little.
Well, the puppy was smaller than she was at 8 months old. He's 8 months old and he was smaller.
She's a
than her.
dinosaur. I told you when I went out to California and we went to your house, I sat in the car because I don't like dogs. And the Braxton come running outside. You heard the earth shake like she's gigantic. It's
Is it an earthquake? No, it's
It was like,
Braxton.
and then she did the whole thing, where they shake their whole body, and it's like, oh,
Dance.
it's a typhoon now.
She I had to get her weighed at the vet for her flea, tick, and heartworm medication that she takes every month so she doesn't get bugs. And she's up to 112.5. I was like, damn girl.
Oh, that post I read, the woman, she said, cholesterol, I'm very disappointed in you.
I mean, and McDonald's and everything else too.
How do you eat 3 hamburgers at one time?
You know what? I'm convinced at this point it's all the preservatives in the food that are keeping him like that and sorcery. That and sorcery, because there's no way.
Uh-huh.
There's no way. So, yeah. Oh, Lord.
Well, before we get into readings, if you would like a reading with Jinlin Tarot, go to jinlintarot.com to book it. The link to my webpage is always in the description box under any of my videos. So you make sure you get the right Jinlin Tarot, because apparently there's multiples. 2 N's in Jin, 2 N's in Lin. And go to the readings tab on it, schedule a reading. After you schedule a reading with me, make sure you check your spam folder, because my website automatically gives an email return to confirm you booked successfully. So just make sure you always check. If you don't see it in your inbox, go to your spam folder. Mayhem and chaos and pandemonium are racing around now.
And also, since there are still out there like mimic accounts, we will never contact you saying, hey, do you want to book a reading and all those type of things. That doesn't happen over here at least.
Oh, yeah. And on that note, if I may really quick, Instagram, if you have an account, was recently hacked. If you get an email that looks like Instagram that says click here to reset your password, delete that email. Don't do it. Go directly to Instagram and change your password there. Because I had gotten an email from Instagram like, hey, did you try to reset your password? And I was like, no, that probably somebody was probably trying to hack my account. And then like 30 minutes later, I got an email from Malwarebytes, which is what I use for my, what do you call
security.
It? Yeah, security and virus protection on my computer. And I got the email saying that Instagram was hacked and all the tips and stuff. Do not click. If you get an email that says it's Instagram, to click here to update your password, delete that email and go directly to Instagram itself and change your password there, because a lot of them have personing fake emails, and that's how they're getting your information.
Phishing.
And they'll hijack your account.
Phishing accounts and stuff. So just be mindful of that if you use Instagram and you have an account.
Thank you for the testimonials from the people that have had readings with me in the chat. That was sweet of you. The other thing too is, if you're trying to book a reading with me and it doesn't go all the way through, I only use PayPal. Don't ask me to use anything else. So, and yes, I know Peter Thiel used to be involved with PayPal, but it's the only thing that works for me is where I get my W-2 form every year from PayPal, actually. If it doesn't book through all the way, it means somebody else is booking the same date and time at the same time as you, and they beat you to finalizing it. So if it doesn't go through all the way, pick another date and time and try again.
You know, I finally got my settlement from Facebook. They had a class action lawsuit for when they stole all their information and sold it to the highest bidder.
Uh-huh.
So they did all that, and I got a grand total of $38.
Hey, man, that's $38 you didn't have yesterday.
$38 for stealing my information.
Meanwhile, they make billions every year.
Uh-huh.
I think they just passed a law here in California. I need to look into it, that California residents can go online at this one website from the California state government and opt out of having your information sold, which they all do it. You know what I mean? Like, so
it's out there.
Yeah.
Well, and let's start here. Grok has been in trouble on Twitter. Elon Musk's Grok, owned by him, AI, has been generating child porn through AI. So it will take a picture. I always tell people, do not post pictures of your children on social media. I find that dangerous. Anyway, it'll take a picture of a child and you can remove their clothes. You can change their clothes, like they're changing them into bikinis or seductive outfits or no outfits, and having them pose in seductive positions. It's sick. It is just so sick. The UK is thinking about banning Twitter. I want to see first, because obviously Trump's regime and his DOJ are not going to do anything, nor the Federal Communications or whoever's over, social media like that. There are laws. You're not supposed to do anything with child porn. But will more countries ban Twitter? We got a whole regime of pedophiles, so be very careful posting pictures, even if your accounts are private on Facebook and stuff. There's a lot of sick people out there. Thank you, Solaris, for repeating the questions. Y'all notice we got our Petty Boots border tonight. That's AI generated through StreamYard. What you getting, Johnny?
Yes, there's a woman leading the charge, Queen of Wands, Knight of Swords, but this is more informational based. So it's like maybe a misinformation. High Priestess, Four of Swords. She wants to pull back because of what's coming out of these things. She also wants some sort of collaboration, but this is probably more so groups and things of that nature, like mom groups or advocate groups or something like that. But I do get at least one country run by a woman there.
I wish somebody would generate a picture of Elon as a toddler in child porn. That's what they need to do, is make a picture of him. What'd you get, Becca?
Clover Sun Mountain, a chance for the success to be blocked or delayed because enemy. So that's looking like a strong yes.
Yes.
Strong yes.
I got justice on the bottom. I think there's at least 7 countries that are looking at options to block him. And this is going to be pretty quick because they've got evidence of this child porn that's making everybody very emotional. So I think there's 7 that are looking at it. I think 3 will do it. Will definitely do it. But Musk is going to get burdened by foreign countries with lawsuits. He's going to have legal problems over this. So
and I don't think it's just the child porn. It is no secret that he's using his social media platform to elevate extremely right talking neo-Nazi rhetoric, which is a danger to democracy.
Yeah.
So shut that shit down. Don't shut it. Just ban it from you. Ban it from your country. Period. you know. So
So the Senate passed the War Powers bill to try to limit Trump from going after like Venezuela again or Greenland or anything else, and they had GOP members that voted with the Dems on it. Will this pass the House?
Jen, I'm confused about that though, because that's already in the Constitution.
It's already there. It's
already
a
there.
shame
So why
they're
do
having
you
to
need to make
reiterate
another
it?
law to reiterate the same thing?
Yeah, it's like go ahead and impeach him for going against our Constitution, but no, they got to generate another law to.
So what was the question?
Will the House pass this, the War Powers Act?
Again, yes. Ace of Cups, Hierophant, Queen of Pentacles, Hierophant, Government, Queen of Pentacles, America. Then the Ace of Cups is a yes, confirmation. I mean, you don't need to, but then again, they also want to be on the record, especially with the midterms coming up, of having done something, because he was supposed to be the president that stopped the wars.
Well, did you also see how they turned around and voted to extend the ACA acts, as if we've all forgotten that they all lined up to vote for it, the big beautiful bill, which caused this problem to begin with?
In the first place.
In the first place, we wouldn't be here had you all not done this.
They're trying to save face, because again, like you said, you don't need a new War Powers Act. You got one. Just execute the stuff you already have, but whatever.
Mike Johnson's going to try to delay this as much as he can, but I get they've already gotten enough votes with the Dems coming together across the aisle. And I get big time. Before this passes, something else is going to happen, whether it's more violence or he tries to do some other attack that's going to bring judgment on. It will pass. Victory on passing. And I get there's like an abundance of votes. So,
well, he's already threatening Greenland again. And Greenland came out and said, shoot, and we'll ask questions later. You ain't coming over here to do what you did to Venezuela.
And Cuba, too. Cuba's in their sights next.
So,
well, they passed it. I get a yes. Child, heart, son. There's a new passion that's going to be very energized.
will Trump go after Greenland?
Yeah.
Oh, Johnny, I think you did a solo video on that I just saw today.
I'll do it again.
Do it again. And I'm re-asking some questions I did on Friday. I did a video Friday, but with the candle lighting. And
why doesn't somebody, you know how that news came out that he's taking way more prescribed, more than what is prescribed for, what was it, Advil?
aspirin.
I was like, y'all, somebody tell him that Biden took eight bottles a day while doing backflips off the roof of the White House. Tell him that, please. Please.
My favorite meme, one of our viewers sent me, said, change Fifth Avenue to the Barack Obama Avenue, because then Trump Tower, his address will permanently be Barack Obama Avenue. Will he go after Greenland?
Sure. Thing is, what does Congress do? This is their test. Donald Trump's marching orders does not come from his head. It comes from his telephone. Greenland is strategic for a whole bunch of people, and it's not him. He's never spoke of this until his second term. We all know his master is working on world domination, especially in that region. And so I get the Fool and the Knight of Wands. That's progression. That's the ending. The progression of the Fool there, so sure, but you have the House that could do something about it. But We'll see. But sure, he's going to do whatever he said he's going to do, like he always has.
Is Greenland mentioned in Project 2025? Because I know Venezuela was like a whole bunch of times.
I don't know, but
Of times. So Venezuela should not come as any surprise.
That's oil. Money.
I get the fish, the ring, the heart. He wants to because of a business contract or a promise for some sort of abundance that there's something there that has a lot of value that he desires, an abundance of value that he wants. That's a yes, but it's not for anything other than, it's not money and it's not business. It's something that has a lot of value that can be used as commerce with the fish and the ring. So
yeah, there's some kind of quid pro quo involved here. Like, I'll do this if you do that for me, so he's got probably a deal with Russia or something. It would bring a lot of judgment from Americans if he does this, if he's stupid enough to do it, but he's stupid enough to do it. He's looking at his options and he's the bully. And like Lindsey Graham and those stupid people are like in agreement with him. He wants to show his strength. I think, and he's offered to like pay people in Greenland to let him do this, but I think this would be something that would cause him to finally get thrown out. So yes, he would probably do it. He's got some commitment, some agreement to go after it, but it's all for some kind of image because of an agreement he's got with somebody else.
He was also saying he's also offering people up to $10,000 to go against their government in Greenland. What the hell do we have to offer here in America? We have healthcare that'll bankrupt you before it kills you. They have free healthcare over there. We have Nazis parading in the streets. They ain't got that over there. What else do we have here?
The government killing us
everywhere. Guns everywhere. Good luck going to a public space without getting shot to death. We have the most corrupt government that makes dictators in third world countries look like Pillsbury Doughboys.
I know you have a lot to say about it too, huh? I know. You're not even in the back and you're whining.
I'm not sure how to phrase this. Y'all may have to help me a little bit. Becca, you were talking about the meeting he had with the oil executives over Venezuela and how he just wanders over to the window, excuse me, and looks out, just like staring out at the window, like,
he looked like a toddler going to the window to take a poop. That's what he looked like. Like they're just talking and he just randomly gets up, goes to the window. Oh, isn't that a beautiful view? This is where the ballroom's going to go. Blah, just completely. Oh, and you know what else he's been doing? When he's talking. And then, everybody says that I'm the best. And somebody was saying that slurping is a sign of advanced dementia because your brain isn't getting the signal to swallow. So he's being more exaggerated with it now.
Well, and then there was a speech he was doing, and he kept rereading the first sentence over and over. He just kept rereading it like he forgot he'd already read that sentence. And because he can't read, like he couldn't go on. He said it like reread the first sentence like 5 times. So I want to know, here's the question. I want to know who's in charge in the White House. Is it Stephen Miller? Is it Marco Rubio? I don't think it's Vance. Like Vance wasn't even in the White House when he went after Venezuela. Who's in charge in the White House?
Who's in charge in the White House, Braxton?
Because Trump is stupid.
He's stupid and demented.
Braxy, are you afraid you're going to get a bath live on YouTube?
You already had a bath. You're not going to get another one. And you had dinner before we went live. I think she's screaming at me because she wants to get up on the bed and the pillows are up. Hold on. She's throwing a fit because she wants up on the bed.
And the pillows are in the way.
I gotta tell you this. The other day we were up on the bed. I was in there reading, and she fell asleep and knocked one of the pillows over, and it was right in front. She threw a whole fit because the pillow was there and she couldn't get down. I'm like, it's a pillow. It's a pillow. It's not like it's a rock. I know. I'll go move.
Move the pillow. She body slammed a whole German Shepherd. She can't move a pillow. It's like
No, Johnny, no. She's the biggest baby ever. I'll go move the pillows. Hold on.
It could be Russ Vogt even. Who's in charge in the White House?
Florence
Nobody.
said, put Braxy on the bed. She's the queen. Yes, ma'am. She is. She runs this house. It's her world. I'm just living in it, dude. I'm just here to be the butler at her every.
It ends in the Fool, so I'm going to say him, but it's the Fool and the Two of Wands. So the first cards, the Seven of Swords and the Strength. It depends on what you want. So they know how to manipulate a person who is easily manipulated. So if Stephen Miller wants to go and be a horrible Nazi-like person, because he's not a real Nazi, then he gets to operate in this sphere and nobody is in control of him. Pete Hegseth can do what he wants. Kristi Noem can do what she wants. FBI guy, what's the cartoon do? Kash Patel, he can do what he wants. And they all have their own little genres that they can run.
But they all protect each other.
Yes. So they're running their own little cabinets. However, they do still live in fear of the Fool because you have to still kind of walk in line step because you don't want him to sick people on you. So he is in control of the fear, but they are in control of the government. If that makes sense.
What you getting, Becca?
Child heart ring. It's a younger male. It's a younger male. That's all I can say. Younger male.
Probably a Stephen Miller more.
It could be Stephen Miller, or it could be someone that we haven't even heard of.
Yeah.
You know, we're thinking Stephen Miller because he's so out in the open. It could be someone that is
behind the scenes,
smart, that is like Elon Musk, stupid, going out there and doing everything. Meanwhile, Peter Thiel's in the background pulling all the strings. Somebody like that, but it's a younger person. And I'm not saying Stephen Miller because it could be somebody we're not aware of yet, but he's younger for sure. Let me go get the baby's bed.
Okay, so Trump's just the mouthpiece. He's just the messenger that he goes along with whatever anybody tells him. So, practically in how they make their plans, it's like it's done in the White House, but it's done at the donors' bidding. So the wealthy, the oligarchs control the purse strings, control whatever they move forward on. So I don't think it's one person either. I think it's moneyed people that, hey, this is what I want you to do for me. They're in service to the people with money. And they'll, Trump helps them get away with things. So anything that, when they go into action, he's the one that covers for them. Thank you, Canadian Classic. So, will Stephen Miller leave the White House before Trump's term is up?
No. I mean, he's living his wet dream now. He gets to be horrible to all the people he's always wanted to be horrible to. especially growing up being a horrible person or being picked on and all that type of stuff. You got the Emperor and the Three of Wands. He's trying to figure out how to expand his power and how to be more of the devil that he is, trying to be more corrupt, trying to be more evil, trying to be more of that type of thing. However, though, there's the Temperance, the King of Cups, and the Nine of Swords. There is a man on the way with the Two of Wands. This could be a person who either runs for president and wins, or he is the person the president hires. But he specifically, now this is a long time away, 4 years or so, he specifically wants to go after people. So you may have someone who has a little bit more of a revenge aspect to their justice keeping. And so this person here could go after him, but this is a ways away.
He just wants to crash and burn it all. You know, and he's going to hang on to being another mouthpiece for this regime. He enjoys looking for opportunities to show power. You know, you watch these videos of him in high school, and it's like, this guy has been drunk on power for forever. Anywhere he can stir up anxiety. I do get that they'll move into action to temper him somehow, whether it's legally through lawsuits and things, or, you know, things he wants to do in secret in America. He's going to get exposed along with Trump, because Trump goes along with anything he wants to do. So he's going to have legal issues that will burden him eventually. So a lot of the things he wants to do will get blocked. Not everything, but a lot of the things. Will Trump stop the midterms? Will he block the midterms from happening? You know, we know he's changing things with the post office. And thank you, Henry. Will he stop us from having midterms?
No. But there is a whole lot of manipulation in trying to, though. Because, mind you, they're criticizing Zelensky for not holding elections. Because Zelensky is currently under attack from Vladimir Putin. They didn't mention that part in it. They just said he's not holding elections. How dare you? So we know they project. But he does want to. There is the Emperor and the Magician. So he does want to manipulate and use some sort of power tactic there. But with the Judgment and the Seven of Cups, it's not something he can pull off for whatever reason. It's something he may have tried before, trying to stop an election. We've seen that already, but it's not going to work.
What you getting, Becca?
Man, Moon, Rider. No, because he ain't going to be here.
Gonna be I get there.
As I'm eating Cheetos.
Eat them slowly and painfully. Make sure you chew them really good. I get they're not going to accept the results of the elections because, you know, even though they're going to try to steal them, and I do think they will manipulate the crap out of them, they're not going to accept the results. And they're going to say some kind of treachery is going on. Trump would if he could, but I think he's moved on to a different dimension by then too. So I don't think he's going to be there. They're going to try to change the results of the midterms, but it's crash and burn. It's not going to work. But too big to ignore. Okay, so MTG is out. She's gone. They're special election in Georgia, which just went blue in a lot of elections they had back in November. Their special election to replace MTG until the midterms is being held in March of 2026. Will her seat go blue? It's a very red county, but so were some of the other Georgia counties that went blue. Will her seat go to a Dem?
Every part of me wants to say no because I don't believe that it would, but this is the Hierophant and the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is my card for Democrat. So I would say yes based on this. I would say no based on reality. But but based on this, it says yes. But I don't think that's how that's going to work, but we'll see.
Scythe, Fox, Anchor. No, they're going to maintain the status quo via cutting people out and manipulation. And that's how the goal is achieved. By trimming, manipulation, and that's how they achieve the goal. So, no. Same thing with Texas. What happens when Greg Abbott and Hot Wheels don't like the outcome?
Mhm.
They know that what outcome is going to happen. They put their thumb on the scale, start purging a bunch of people out, arresting people. We've seen the playbook. No.
Florida.
Yeah. There's things being done in secret. It's like the Dems have made a lot of improvements, gained strength there in Georgia because of Trump and what he's doing. So I think that they get most of the votes, but there's going to be bully tactics. There's going to be some illusion around the votes. They're not going to accept it. So whether they take it to the courts or do something to suppress votes, throw votes out, there's something going on. But I do get it. It should go to a Dem.
To Cindy Catmom, the only reason Ted Cruz is there is because of Greg Abbott and Ken Paxton. Because you cannot tell me that man won against Colin Allred. And then not only after the results came out, Ken Paxton was bragging about it, about how they rigged the outcome of the election to maintain.
Aren't we glad we have Elon on our side?
See what I'm saying? So
Trump admitted it. The
and
day before he was
Florida,
inaugurated.
Florida is the same thing. It's the same thing. People that are in positions of power that don't like the outcome will overrule the constituents so that they can get what they want, regardless.
It's funny because Trump apparently is trying to figure out what to do with the Supreme Court because he's got a couple of older ones on there that want to retire, and he was like, I'd probably nominate Ted Cruz because nobody likes him in the Senate anyway. The man that he told him his wife was ugly and that his dad was involved in the JFK assassination, he's thinking about nominating to the Supreme Court. His little dog Snowflake too. Will Trump replace anyone on the Supreme Court?
No. There's a blockage.
And
However,
I hope that blockage pops. And then
he would love for a black woman to move on, though, with the Queen of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands. But no, that is one that he was supposedly aiming at because they said that Biden what's the word? Not anointed, but brought her in with auto pin. And so he's trying to undo her appointment. That's the word. But no.
I get they block him too, whoever he offers up, and delay him from putting anybody on.
I gotta know.
And then he'll be out of power. So dead or otherwise. Check those obituaries.
Do not live your life in a way where everybody wishes that you were dead. Like just
The whole world, Johnny. The
I
whole
mean,
world.
and you know what? We saw hate with Barack Obama because we knew that was going to be there because just based on how he looked and how he sounded, and he had the perfect family, and he was the Huxtables and blah 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 blah. But the whole world didn't come out and use, inflatable baby Barack Obama balloons. And every time you hear a person from another country, oh yeah, we hate Trump here, and you didn't hear that about Barack. You heard the races come out, and all the those people, but this is different. The whole world hates you. You're just vile and disgusting, and people literally wish you would die.
Does he realize that the whole world hates him?
How do you not is what I'd wonder. But I mean, I get the whole people follow him around and give him positive affirmations.
Yeah.
But how do you not know?
How can you not know that
You go to a
I say
baseball game, they boo you.
75% of the world does not like you?
Like nobody goes anywhere and see inflatable baby balloons. Like that's like that's not happening to anybody else on earth.
Make fun of him as much as you can. The pictures of him sleeping with his mouth open, drooling on himself, whatever. Make fun of him because he hates that.
The one thing that really truly saddens me, though, I don't believe in heaven. I don't believe in hell. I'm on the fence about an afterlife. But what saddens me is that mother effer won't be here to see the entire world celebrating his demise when that day gets here. Because he is a global menace, a threat to everything and everyone on this planet.
With no forethought about it. Just stupid. Somebody asked me if he was the Antichrist. I said he's too stupid.
Well, the Antichrist is supposed to be a person to get people to believe that he is their savior. However, he's supposed to get the majority of us to believe that.
I believe he's the Antichrist, not as a supernatural being, but as a person that is the complete antithesis of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
In that sense alone, yes.
Because he is the walking 7 deadly sins.
Mm-hmm.
He's lazy, he's addicted.
The walking 7 deadly sins and all 9 circles of hell encapsulated in one person.
Mm-hmm. Does he believe it or does he know it? Yes and no. Remember, this is the same person who's worried about getting into heaven, so you must know that you have led a life of debauchery. But there's the 4 of Cups is the first. There you go. See, the first card I get is the 4 of Cups. The 4 of Cups is not accepting your reality because in front of you are the 3 cups and you're tired of the monotony, and the 4th cup comes in. That's also a part of your daily life. But this is a person who crosses their arms and says it's not happening. You know it's happening. If you ignore it, you know it's there. And so he knows it, but he at the same time can inoculate himself and be unaffected by it because somebody else can tell him something fantastic about himself. Perspective change. He knows it. He just doesn't want to deal with it.
I think he knows it too, but his sole goal is how to temper those that don't like him. He sees us as treacherous. We're the terrorists. And he knows that number is growing because of all of his corruption and that everybody wants a regime change done. We're done with him. So he works with others to try to figure out how to improve his image, but he knows it. He knows that his numbers are much smaller. His approval ratings are much smaller. He lies about it, but he knows it.
I gotta know. Cross house mice. No, because he's suffering from something hereditary from his dad that eats away. So his malignant narcissism coupled with his Swiss cheese brain
Doesn't enable him to understand.
at this point, I'm wondering, like, literally, who is tying his shoes in the morning?
He's a zombie. How are he still alive?
He's Weekend at Bernie's, Johnny.
All they gotta do is tie his shoes together one morning and we're done. Let him face plant once
Get a
and
belly
we're done.
bounce.
That's all it takes. Let me be his valet for a little while.
Grace.
Minnesota. Yep. There's no statute of limitations on murder. So even though the federal government's not cooperating with them, they're still doing an investigation. There's so many videos that keep coming out that people had on their cell phones of what happened with Renee Good. Will Minnesota successfully convict Jonathan Ross? I don't care when, just eventually. Will they successfully put his ass in jail? Renee Nicole Good. Well, Jonathan Ross.
We'll get the Eight of Swords, which is incarceration. I'm going to say initially yes, and then this goes around and around and around for whatever reason. The World is the first card, so there's yes, completion. The Five of Cups, regrets and disappointments and things of that nature, but there is an attempt to escape that fate with the Eight of Cups and the Four of Cups. And so it's going to go through some processes, but I get a yes. At least initially.
I get a yes too. Justice is coming.
Would that be a state crime? Or the state
yeah,
card?
that would be state, so Trump can't give him immunity or pardon. There's going to be new evidence offered up. So more images, more video showing the chaos and his, guilt.
Because his defense is he's being dragged or something like that, right? So
Yes.
more evidence would
More and
refute
more
that.
videos coming out. The growth to action by the state government moving into action, and King of Cups for me is usually a Democratic leader, so this would be under Governor Walz and his Democratic AG. I get a big yes, big yes. This guy's going to get severely burdened, but there's going to be celebrations. Don't look for it right away. They have to get enough evidence to without a doubt, be able to convict. Once the grand jury says yes, indict him, I think that they've got enough evidence to take it to court.
Because this force was not warranted, especially if you were telling her, somebody was telling her to move, and she started to move. What are you holding on to her car for?
Yeah. Or are you trying to get in her car when the other guy's saying move, and then Jonathan Ross calling her a fucking bitch after he shot her? Vivek Ramaswamy.
Oh my God.
His family bodyguard just got arrested on drug trafficking charges. His family bodyguard. Drug trafficking charges. Was Vivek aware that his bodyguard was trafficking drugs? Was he
They
maybe
say
working
rumor
for-
has it that's why he left social media, because he was saying he left Twitter and Instagram. He said because of the racial slurs have increased and all that type of stuff. But he was also a person who tweeted a long time ago that if you can't stand mean messages in your comment section, then you can't be a leader. But they say he quit because of this story was coming out.
Was this bodyguard working for him in more ways? Was he aware? People,
Were you aware, sir?
Vivek Ramaswamy, did you know he was trafficking drugs?
It is funny though that this comes out the moment he's trying to run for governor of Ohio and not president. Because all of the right-wing MAGA people said we cannot let him become governor of Ohio. The right said that, not the left. The right said that. He's too dark. He's too Indian. He's too Hindu.
Oh, Vivek.
I mean,
Oh,
I got the moon on the bottom. With the moon, you know something is there. First of all, there's no way you don't know. I think with the Three of Swords, someone had this information and they brought it out, and you weren't expecting such a thing. The Five of Swords and the Star, this person was corrupt and you knew it. The Star is nothing to hide. You can't hide, or nothing is being hidden from you, I should say it that way. So yes, he did know. And then the Ten of Wands and the Seven of Swords, he will be burdened by these secrets and these schemes and these things like that, because now you need to explain it, or explain it away, if you will. But yeah, I think so. He's going to plead ignorance, of course, with the Seven of Cups. But
because what I'm getting is this bodyguard was open and honest with him. Like he knew about moving money, trafficking, big old yes. Trafficking, big old yes. And this will be his downfall. So he ain't going to be governor, dude. He knew, yeah, there may have even been some human trafficking going on too, but he totally knew. He's like in agreement with them. So, and the moon card and a big yes, like he knew treachery was going on. Vivek, these people, Johnny, these people, they won't go away.
He baffles. Now he doesn't baffle me. I feel kind of bad for him, a little slice, because I can see, and I feel like he should be able to see. These people don't like you simply because it's not a list of things like you've done this and you've done that and you've done this, and you're too Indian, you're too Hindu, and they don't like you. And me on the outside looking in, I feel a little bad for him because he's trying to fit in with the whiteness and he can't. And it's like, stop trying. Go be yourself. Go be who you want to be without all this other stuff. It's just kind of sad is what it is. But I don't know. I get a little tickle out of it too, because he thinks he's so smart, and then they're the one throwing the finger back at him while he's trying to be smart. Mind you, I didn't know he said this. He said that we need foreigners in this country because like the Americans can't do it or something like that. So and the court apparently that's coming back to haunt him too. So I do get a little tickle out of it, but it's sad.
I mean, he ain't wrong. He ain't wrong. Look at all them fields where the food's going rotten because they decided to deport all the workers. There's your jobs that the immigrants were stealing from you, white people. Go work.
Bless his heart.
And the rest of America, He's right. We're too stupid. Just reading alone keeps declining every year by 4%.
Keep them poor, keep them sick, keep them stupid.
By 4%. We are the dumbest country in the developed world with a sense of entitlement to rival the universe. It's so big. You know?
With the stupidest president that's ever lived.
So the House voted to extend the ACA Obamacare subsidies for until 2028. Will the Senate pass this to extend the subsidies?
Like we were saying before, all this rushing to do all this stuff that could have been prevented had they not, all of them not lined up to sign for the big, beautiful bill.
Well, and they could have voted on this back in November. They didn't have to mess around with this, but now they've got Republicans joining the Dems, so it passed.
And I'm sure a lot of it has to do with pissed off constituents that saw their premiums through the roof. And the only person to blame is the Republicans that signed on to the big, beautiful bill that caused this whole thing.
Every Democrat in the House was on the same page. Will it pass? I don't know. I got the 4 of Swords and the Page of Wands. Neither one of those is a yes, but neither one of those is a no either. It would read more like, I would say yes because they want to retreat from what they really believe. They don't want it to pass, but they know they can kind of have no choice. So with the 4 of Swords would be like pulling back from what it is that you're supposed to be doing. So saying no. And then the Page of Wands would be a progression. So I would say, if I had to extrapolate an answer, I'd say yes. But it's not something they want to do. It's something they feel they have to do.
You getting, Becca?
I get a yes. The ship, the book, the ring. A transition or a transfer because either something that was written in a book, Project 2025, okay, or because it has been learned and studied and there is a commitment. They're going to be tied to this thing if it doesn't. So yes, only because the secret got outed and people learned with the book, because it was literally could be a literal book, Project 2025. And the ring is number 25, by the way. So
I think rather quickly too, they're going to pass this. Yeah, there's somebody's going to try to delay it and block it, but it's going to come through with strength. Completion, it'll be done. Yes, there'll be some bullying going on, trying to restrict the Republicans that are voting with the Dems. But I think there's just enough Republicans that shift over and vote with the Dems. So I say yes. So if Trump vetoes this, will they have enough votes? Because then they have to have a bigger majority. Will they have enough votes to override a veto?
Yes, there is defeat, or at least your initial defeat, and then there is eventually a success when you have an accumulative effort with the World card. Maybe that's what that 4 of Swords was saying. He's pulling back. Somebody does, but they get a defeat and then success.
I got a yes, but there's also something here about lying about women's health. Snake woman tree. There's a lie around a woman and her health. So they might try to, I don't know what's in the Affordable Care Act, but there might be something there where they may have to do with women's reproductive rights or something, because it's a lie, woman health. But ultimately, yes.
Yeah, I get they would not accept a veto. Again, coming together, bullying, get this plan off the ground. So I get they would kill a veto. So celebrations, victory on this. It's going to create a lot of chaos from Trump, of course, because ACA is also known as Obamacare. Watch for him try to rename it to Trump Care.
Remember, he had a concepts of a plan. Concepts of a plan.
What? I forget which foreign leader it was. They have the G7 summit or G8 summit coming up right around Trump's birthday. But because Trump's doing his little wrestling match at the White House on his birthday, they're actually moving the dates for the summit meetings.
He's doing a what now?
He's having a UFC fight for his birthday.
For his birthday.
So
He's had the military parade. Now he's going to have a UFC fight.
So the entire G7 is going to capitulate ignore his ass. I am tired. I am tired of it. Be like the president of Colombia and call his ass out. His latest speech, Jen, I'll have to show it to you and I'll translate it because it's all in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
But he was saying that the entire American government is ran by a ring of pedophiles. And they have the audacity to try to threaten the entire planet. Those were his words, not mine. And he said that with his full chest. And I said, where's the lie? Because there ain't one. There ain't one. Meanwhile, the G7 is bending over themselves to accommodate that piece of crap.
He also wants to build a second story on the West Wing to balance it with the East Wing, which he's totally destroyed.
Listen, dude, whatever blood clot he has, I'm rooting for you, buddy. Make your way up to the lungs or the brain, wherever. Just go. Do your job.
What is this activities of boredom that you're supposed to be running the country? Let's have a UFC fight. Let's redecorate. Like, what the hell is wrong?
You know what's funny about this? It's funny because if I took it seriously, I would be crying. He's over here talking about world domination. I'm going to buy this country. I'm going to invade that country. We're going to take over Venezuela and run it indefinitely. We're going to move the money from the oil to an offshore account. Please tell me how you're embezzling it. Okay?
Yeah.
And he's talking about
like it's a monopoly board.
They're going, mother effer, you can't even run your own country. You set that shit on fire and you're over here trying to take over the rest of the world while you literally burnt the house that you're living in.
So
China built a hospital in 3 days during COVID. He can't build a section of the White House in 3 years.
So will Trump be celebrating his birthday at the White House?
In hell, no. Will he be
I'm going to ask it this way. Will he be celebrating his birthday this year?
On this side of the dirt. Will he be at the White House? Don't play with me. First card transition. I'm not playing that game.
I'm going to stop right there.
Don't do
Will he
it.
be celebrating his birthday this year? Nope. That's a blockage. That's some sort of a growth. No. And I'm manifesting that shit. And if I'll eat a whole nother bag of Cheetos if I have to. Okay, like
It might be time to smash one.
no, goddammit. No, can't take it anymore. Stick him in the nuts, Johnny. Right in the
He doesn't have any. Bearing the test tube.
whatever type of sorcery is keeping that orange buffoon together with duct tape, dude.
Jeez. Will he be celebrating his birthday at the White House? Six of Swords, no. Probably somewhere overseas, different location, Knight of Wands.
Preferably back to the mud, 6 feet under, in an undisclosed location so that we cannot all go over there and face it every single day for the foreseeable future.
I mean, go to Venezuela.
I get Melania will be celebrating his birthday. I get Trump will be dead, dead
Oh my God.
in another realm, doing his life review.
Jen, he's too stupid for a life review, dude. Like
Yeah.
that level of stupidity is soul deep.
They would have to do a single slide life review. Okay.
And you know what his answer? You know what his answer would be? Man, camera, woman, TV. That's it. That's
Uh-huh. He would probably get up in the middle of it, like, hey, let's look at the West Wing.
Let's just go look out there. Single slide of his life
Oh
review.
my God.
Dude, you're shit.
Who
Just
is
a big
writing
old
this
pile of
book?
shit.
This is not cute at all.
whoever's in control of this hologram or what's the name I'm looking for, Johnny?
Simulation.
This simulation is fired because I have PTSD like nobody's business.
Because this ain't cute at all.
I'm over here wondering, okay, when's this mofo gonna start World War III? Is he gonna die before he gets a chance? You know, like
Because the sad thing is, he's horrible. He's a beacon. He's not alone, though. Somebody else will pick up the mantle and be just as stupid as him.
yeah.
So, it was almost unanimous, the voting to release the Epstein files, right? There was one person that voted not to. Pedophiles, probably. Do any of the GOP regret voting to release the Epstein file? Or did they know it was going to be severely redacted to protect Trump? Thank you, lucky girl. Man, camera person, TV, and Epstein files. Did they know, did they vote yes, release it because they knew it would be severely redacted? Or do they regret voting yes to release the files?
Ten of Pentacles, Republicans, Five of Cups, card of regret. There is some regret because of people with deep pockets did not want this in particular thing. The Chariot is a card of opposites that you have to pull together, so they were not trying to be on the same page as the King of Swords, which is Trump and Epstein. So it's more so they couldn't, because everybody out here in the world, including their own constituents, was looking forward, and therefore you must release it. And you can't be the one person to say not, because then you look like an apologist of pedophiles. But at the same time, the people that are in there, the rich and the famous, or the rich and the powerful, and the Nine of Pentacles did not want this to happen. So there is that.
So
Thank you,
thank you,
Judy.
Judy. So I get the tree, the key, the heart, the man, the bear. There's something very significant around the heart health of the executive. However, I asked, why did they release the files? I think they're more worried not about Trump, but about the super, super, super ultra wealthy executives that have, because of their deep pockets, have a bigger voice than you and me and everybody in the chat. Because those are the people that are really running the country, not us. Not us, so that's what I get. However, with that, I don't think they had it on their bingo card, or maybe they did, that he would be a liar, a crook, a convicted felon, and a child sex trafficker on top of that. And do you see what I'm saying? And then with the stuff that keeps coming out from the estate, we now know that he was transferring girls from Mar-a-Lago to Epstein.
There's a part of the ring.
You cannot tell me that he was not a business partner. You cannot tell me he was not a business partner.
We'll look at that next.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I get there was they thought he would redact enough, he would block enough that we wouldn't see everything, because he's the inside person with all these young people. But do they regret it? People in our government regret that the moneyed people are coming out, those that paid or were blackmailed or any of those are coming out. So they would abandon it now if they knew how much was coming out, because there's an abundance of truth in it. So do they regret Trump? No, it's the other money people. Thank you, Sally.
Like I said, you cannot convince me that mofo was not a business partner. He's the man that would sell his own daughter for $1. Of course, after he's tested the goods himself. And that's not me speculating. That has come out of his mouth. That if it wasn't his daughter, he would pay her.
Was he profiting off of Epstein's ring? Was Trump profiting off it? Was he getting kickbacks or anything?
Yes. The Six of Pentacles is your payout. The Six of Wands is your importance. The Hierophant would be your governments or governments in other places as well. Yes, there was much profit. But it's connections more so than profit. I mean, profit too. But the connections is what's more so important.
I asked, was he a business partner? I get the bouquet, the fox, the bear. Bouquet is the Queen of Hearts. Beauty. I remember beauty pageants. Beauty.
Mm-hmm.
Work and manipulation with the fox. Bear, finances and executives. Yeah. There was a shit ton of money to be made there. And a lot of control and a lot of power. So, and it all had to do around pretty young girls that worked in the beauty industry in some way, shape, or form. So models, beauty pageants, but models also, perhaps, because it's
Trump modeling agency and all that.
Work in beauty, women that work for beauty, that sort of thing. So, yeah.
Thank you, Julie. Yeah, loser Trump also will have regrets. I get there's some new messaging that's going to come out that changes everything. He was an inside person working with the youth, and the power that he had. He made money off of it, traveling around with these young. Yeah, somebody got mad at us for saying young women. We know they were underage at the time. Okay, they're young. They're women now, so we refer to them that way.
And also, please note that we have to be careful what we say on this platform for Jen to not be demonetized, or have her page reported or struck or penalized in some way, shape, or form. Okay.
So yeah, he made steady money from this, and I think he's still making money. He's not finished with this business. I think he's still making money.
There was a lawsuit, Jen, that is in Florida right now that is accusing Trump of running another Epstein-like scheme.
Mm-hmm.
And that lawsuit is in Florida right now. That he is currently running another Epstein-like. And like Johnny said, the audacity, the arrogance, the hubris that you have to have, knowing that you have this entire spotlight on you right now for what you did with that man for decades, to have the gall to do it again as the executive of the country.
Well, remember, Melania didn't want those models taking pictures of Barron at Christmas time at Mar-a-Lago.
She a hoe too. She was getting past.
She's a skank hoe.
She's a depreciated hoe.
She's an appreciated skank hoe.
That's a shame.
He was getting passed around like a joint at a frat party, dude. You know. I'm not even.
Oh my God, I feel bad for her. She wasn't a horrible person.
But she's just as horrible, if not worse, than him.
I don't care, do you? Where does she wear that jacket to? Go visit detainees and children locked in cages. I don't care.
hope
do
she
you?
gets that super chlamydia that's going around St. Bart's right now.
She's
those
probably
of you
giving
that-
it to a few people.
For those of you that don't know, apparently there's super chlamydia that's rolling around with the upper echelons of society in St. Bart's.
Oh God.
They all got a case of super chlamydia right
Malaria is going around Florida too.
now.
Donald Trump, the king of pestilence.
I mean, dear God, what were the four horsemen? Pestilence, war, famine, and what
That's
was
next with all our crops dying in the field.
what was the other one? Because we have pestilence, we have war, we have famine, because people can't afford to eat right now. What was the other one?
I have no idea.
Pestilence, war, famine. I'm missing
Conquest,
the-
war, famine, and death.
And death. Well,
Mhm.
he's currently squatting in the White House. Those are the four horsemen of the apocalypse, you guys.
He started a war. He's also been the president during a time of pestilence.
We are 1 week into 2026. 1 week into 2026. What can we expect for the rest of January? Just January.
Can I say on a positive note, though, my January so far has been fantastic. I know globally, because the news shows us all the horrible stuff, but I have experienced very nice things in these 11 days, and I've seen goodness in humanity in these 11 days. I went to the grocery store, and the man in front of this other woman paid for all her stuff, and so it's
That's
still
really nice.
things out there.
Here's to Johnny's point. I was on TikTok the other day, you guys. This girl went viral, freaking viral. I think the last time I saw the video, it had like 2.7 million views. And I think it's gotten a lot more since then. She made a video that said, y'all, the shit's getting so bad. What if they shut down the grocery stores and make us hunt for our own food? And then she said, I don't even know where little Debbie lives.
Little Debbie.
The comments had me rolling. The comments had me rolling. People were like, I don't even know how to milk an almond. And then somebody else said, little Debbie lives right next door to Sarah Lee.
Nutty
Milk
Bar.
and almond.
Look.
Milk and almond. We'll all be searching for roadkill like RFK
and
Jr.
One person said, what kind of corn breeds dogs? Like, I mean, the comments were so ridiculous. And I had to laugh. To Johnny's point, I had to laugh. I'm like, it's nice to see people just cracking up because shit's bad out there, you know, but it's nice to know that we are so unserious that we can just laugh, you know, laugh through it.
We're banding together, strength in numbers. We're not afraid. We're going to continue to be out there in stronger numbers. And there are more people defecting from Trump support. So
That's the
you got
biggest
to laugh
thing,
at these idiots.
is the not afraid part.
Yep.
because as the meme keeps circulating that we should not be afraid of the government should be afraid of us, type of thing. So
We outnumber them.
V
Yeah.
for Vendetta. If you haven't watched that movie, go watch it. V for Vendetta. The government people should not be afraid of their government. Their government should be afraid of them.
mhm.
Strength in numbers. Now, I do know, JD Vance said, oh, ICE is going to start going door to door, which they did start in Minnesota. Do not open your door for them. If they can't hold up a judicial warrant,
And you have
Your
the
little
ability
peephole.
and the right to read the warrant too.
right, do not even open the door. You open the door, you're a goner.
Mom Donnie has made a video about that too. So if they have a warrant and all, there's protocol, and he ran down the protocol. So seek that out, or just Google it and find your info. What to look forward to in January: the Seven of Cups and the Ace of Wands. A lot of decisions that they are trying to make. A lot of new stuff that they're trying to implement too. There are some things here that are going to create serious burdens around health or healthcare as well. So watch out for that. I mean, that's coming anyway. But we are also going to get a lot of info, especially on this piracy that we're doing in the sea type of thing. The Seven of Pentacles, the Death card, and the High Priestess. However, there are a lot of really great, this is more of a social victory. The Star and the Three of Wands, a lot of things to look forward to. Socially, a lot of things to look forward to energetically as well too. I hate saying though, there's a shift happening and all that because everybody ain't feeling it. But at the same time, there is, because people are starting to link up with people they've never known before, never seen before. I mean, look at us three. We didn't know each other 8 years ago. So there's a lot more connection and a lot more of that type of thing. I don't know if I'm just trying to be positive or if that's what it really says, but there's a lot more of that coming to social victory.
And we have like 7 planets piled up in Capricorn right now, so it is crazy time. What you getting, Becca?
Get your Johnny, get your voodoo doll. I got my Tito's Zoomofos in the chat. Manifest this shit. The bouquet, the rider, the clover, the anchor, the house. Happy news arrives. There will be the arrival of happy news when something that we've all hoped for finally happens in the White House. So we know what that means. When that mofo is dead.
I need more needles though.
Stomp on him, Johnny. Stomp on him.
Although 5 is the number of conflict in the tarot, so maybe I got the right number in there.
I am manifesting with everything that I have.
He's not going to finish his term. The other thing is America is not accepting what's going on with our government and the details of the work that they're doing. So whether it's ICE, whether it's immigration, whether it's Venezuela and Greenland and all this other crap, they're going to have to alter their plans because people are moving on from this regime. They are not supporting it. I do get eventually chaos suspended, like some of the chaos gets stalled. But again, these are transition cards for me.
I would be so pissed if somebody wakes up, if we find out because a staffer went to wake him up and he wouldn't wake up. Like, I want that mofo to die on camera so I can experience some sort of joy in my black, miserable heart. I mean, with the shit he's done, he doesn't deserve to pass.
For there to be more lies about foreign countries, so Greenland or Venezuela or whatever, or Iran, is going through chaos to watch there to be more lies about what's going on in other foreign
Have we ever asked? I mean, I know you said it multiple times, Becca, but have we ever read if he would face justice before he died?
I don't think we've asked it that way.
I'm gonna sit this one out because I believe it in my heart of hearts, and I've been saying it since his first term. This mother effer is gonna die before he ever faces justice. That was just me between the three of us, you know.
I want to use my runes for some reason.
There's his life review right there. That's your life review.
Wait, well, I'll be right back.
Will Trump ever face justice before he
goes back to the mud?
before he takes a dirt nap?
You know what? I'm gonna show you something right now. So I'm rereading the First Law trilogy because
Wait a minute, let me make you bigger.
my black heart is so pissed off at the injustice of everything.
Everybody go. Come on.
We're here.
No, I'm trying to arrange it. There we go. Okay.
And I'm reading the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 6th book in the series. I want this guy right here. Can you see him?
Uh-huh.
That right there is Mr. Logan Nine Fingers, also known as the Bloody Nine. But I want him to go visit Trump.
Let's haunt him.
I want him to visit him. He doesn't look that crazy and bloody for no reason. No, it's because he's intense. Like, he's a really nice guy. Very thoughtful and philosophical until he gets pissed off and then he turns into this. I want him to go visit Trump.
Sneakiel, the angel of vengeance.
Him.
No. First card I got was the world. First rune I got was Hagalos. Hagalos is blockage. World is completion, completed cycle, completed circle. Last card, justice. Last rune, Tiwaz, reverse. This is justice reversed. So, no, I don't think so. Blockage of justice.
Yeah. It's only if justice moves really, really quick, because this dude, all the chaos he's causing, he's getting ready to go the other side. Meet his maker. So in his life review,
Fuck his life. I'm
No.
sorry. Pardon my vocabulary. The F with his life review. Justice delayed is justice denied. Unless you're a regular person like the rest of us, then it's very swift.
He's not a regular anything. He shouldn't be alive, let alone in jail and all this other stuff. He's 1,000 pounds. He's 4 million years old.
His mother
He's got a blockage everywhere. He can't walk. He can't talk. He can't talk without slurring. He can't think. His brain is mush. He shouldn't be alive.
I'm going to say this, and some people might consider this extremely crass, but it's in what's in my heart. His mother should have swallowed him or aborted him. Okay, he should have never, that, in the words of George Carlin, that ejaculation never deserved a name.
I pulled the card, and because this is what I do in my spare time. And I asked, would I die in the next 5 years? I got yes. Because the good die young. And I'm like, why is it though that he can make it to 89 and I can't make it to 59? Like, but you don't know. My cards never tell me that. I think it told me that because simply I asked. But
I wish every time he goes to take a poop, it like hurts him and he's super constipated. Like, I wish
how many bad things do you wish in one sentence?
Every time I think of him, I wish him I wish him 1 million paper cuts in a day. Okay. And then for him to get lemon juice on him. Like, just that
hurts too.
I can't. I used to think
Oh.
I was a halfway decent human being, and then this effort turned me into a person I don't recognize, you know?
Will the government shut down at the end of the month?
Oh God, because that's coming up too, isn't it?
Mhm. Will we have another government shutdown?
Nobody else deals with this, but
Well, that's because he wants 1.5 trillion to fund ICE and his military Gestapo.
let's put it in his pocket. I get no. There is pressure and some sort of limitation there, but works out in the end. 10 of Cups. We'll see though. Anything can happen there.
The fox, the mountain, the garden. No. But unemployment is through the roof. So this is no jobs, out of jobs. Jobs that aren't there, not working. Work is delayed, work is blocked. And then public society.
Saddest part about that too is those small towns that are losing their big companies.
The numbers that we're seeing now, that's not even, and they
A
stopped
drop in the
reporting.
bucket.
So that's an estimation. That's not even the real numbers because he stopped like when COVID happened. Oh, if I just don't report it, people won't know. Like we don't have eyes and ears, and we, you know.
Yes.
So
The-
expect the unemployment numbers to be even higher than and for more jobs to be lost.
The impoverished, the suffering, people abandoning, any support for these people in Congress. So the message brings healing. So I think whatever happens with the budget bill, there will be negotiations with the Dems. So I think they're going to come to the table. They're going to talk, and they're going to do something kind of moderate, middle of the road in the budget. It's not going to be outlandish. It's not going to be like the last one. Here's an interesting question. The DNC chair, Ken Martin, has a review report on the 2024 elections that he is keeping secret. Why is he keeping the 2024 election review report secret?
I mean, they told Kamala to not say anything.
Mm-hmm. Why is he keeping it secret? What's in it?
And nobody batted an eye that we got results in 4 or 5 hours.
Mhm.
Nope, nothing to see here, folks.
And the whole map was red, pretty much.
And
What's
everybody
in
got
it, and will
everything
we ever
wrong.
see it?
Everybody got everything wrong except for that one crypto gambling thing on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
That one lady from, is it Indiana or Idaho or wherever, that one pollster that has never been wrong was so off the mark that it was insane. Everybody was wrong except Trump. It's like the straight F student that all of a sudden gets an A+++++ on the final.
Because his daddy bought his grades.
Like Trump.
Why is he keeping it secret, and will we ever see it?
No, it was leader, emperor, government, Hierophant, Ace of Pentacles, Nine of Wands. Here's your information that can be offered up. It is pressured. It is under pressure, not stopped, but under pressure because of something legal. Maybe you couldn't prove it, or maybe it just looked like hearsay or something that you would throw in the courts and it would circle around forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. But the Hermit and the Two of Wands, someone's searching for it, but they will never find it. Two of Wands is a plan, plans put into motion, but these plans are not complete. And then the Hermit is intentional with the hiding. But someone is looking for this information. It's just that someone is not going to get it because of those in charge.
And here's the thing.
And I want you to take note that those in charge are not Donald Trump and Elon Musk. These are Democrats. They have information. Someone in one of my classes did a reading, and because she wanted to know, because everybody saw Kamala winning, and she wanted to know, why were my cards wrong? What happened here? And is anything going to happen? She did the reading, and it said in the end, the moon and the high priestess, everything is there. They know it's there. They just have to do something about it.
Here's the thing. You cannot tell me that there's no way to prove this. Bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You take the paper ballots, you bounce that off, it was tabulated. Boom. There's your answer. There's your effing answer. I turned in this is what came out. It's that easy. And I am convinced at this point, I haven't read cards or anything. I am convinced at this point that it won't be until after he dies that the truth will out. That they'll find, oh yeah, by the way, he stole it. You know, which is cowardly to me.
Yeah.
Because you might as well do it when he's alive, so you can look him in the eye, and while you're cuffing the fat orange bastard. But I'm just saying,
they know it was an inside job. They know that they had a surprising amount of strength and support for the Dems. They know it's a betrayal, that it was an inside job, that they shouldn't have accepted the election results. You know, bullying and burdening, you know, Kamala's votes. It's almost like they're trying to wait to see what happens in the courts around the stealing of the election. So Election Truth Alliance and those guys, they're just kind of digging their heels in, but they know it was corrupt. They know it.
and you know what? We know, thanks to the Epstein files, that Trump skated by in 2016 because he had help from Epstein and Russia. We know because we saw it with our own two eyes that he tried to steal it again in 2020. And I'm supposed to sit here and believe that he didn't do that again in 2024? We're talking about a man that threatened a judge and then doubled down and tripled down and quadrupled down, and then turned around and threatened the clerk and the daughter. And I'm supposed to sit here and believe that Epstein and Russia helped him in 2016. He had a bunch of retards, pardon my French for the slur, but that's Giuliani and everybody else, helping him in 2020, and he didn't do it again? That it's the only thing he's ever done honestly in his entire life? Get the F out of here. Come on now. I would rather eat a bowl of dog shit than believe that, because you can't convince me. You can't.
So even Walmart is now saying that they're going to downsize here in the U.S. and they're going to go after more opportunities in foreign countries for growth, because they can't get any growth here because of Trump and the tariffs. And it's going to create more food deserts and things in small towns and stuff. Will Trump feel the pressure to lift tariffs? Will he lift any tariffs anytime in the next 2 months? When even Walmart is saying we can't continue this.
Well, didn't the Supreme Court ruled that his tariffs are unconstitutional? And he's still doing it?
But
some
still
of his tariffs, some of his tariffs were unconstitutional.
And Congress hasn't done anything to stop him. So,
which they're the people to do it. But, you know, I would love to blame Donald Trump, but I have a hard time being biased, or unbiased, I should say, because I worked for Walmart, and not that only that, but I've lived in Oklahoma, and I know the small towns that I visited. Weatherford, Oklahoma, for instance, got 18 and a half people there. They have a post office, a Walmart, and a gas station. If you don't work at the post office, you work at Walmart. If you don't work at Walmart, you work at the gas station. If you don't work for any of those, you either work remote or you have no job. If Walmart leaves, that's a lot of the jobs, but they also have no small mom and pop places because Walmart exists.
They're now going to have to drive, 45 minutes to an hour to get groceries.
To get groceries,
So
because Walmart ran everybody out of town.
they're going to lose jobs, have less income, and have to drive further to survive.
Because Bob, who has the general goods store, his eggs are $4. Walmart's is $2.99, and so you're going to go for the $2.99. So he runs these people out of town. Meanwhile, when they leave town, everything, then you have no options. But will he feel the pressure? No, not really. Queen of Cups, Queen of Pentacles. Initially, not really, because people are accustomed sometimes to adapting instead of forcing the change. Because we have all adapted to higher grocery prices because of quote unquote COVID. Meanwhile, Biden's administration was like, okay, we're going to go after price gouging, but I have not seen the effect of such. And so we have all adapted to paying a higher price for things. Remember when bubble gum was 10 cents type blah, 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 blah. So they'll adapt initially, but at some point, something's got to break. And so the star is a card for right now, and it's a card for the future. So right now they will adapt, but in the future, something will have to change. There will be a new conversation that's had with the 8 of Wands at that time. But right now, adapting, tomorrow change.
Getting Becca.
Oh, I didn't read on this one.
I get Trump will hang on to them. So, you know, the government, unless they go after him and revisit this, we in the U.S. here are very isolated. And I get the tariff stick while Trump is in there. There are people that are making money off of these. The government's making money off of it. Things will change when there's a change of power. When we get a change of power, when the bully is gone, exited stage left. So
Meanwhile,
until he croaks, your Cheetos are going to keep costing you a lot.
Yes, they are.
meanwhile, MAGA's over there waiting. They're still waiting for their $2,000 stimulus check from the tariffs. And I'm like, you stupid sons of bitches. The word stimulus is not the same as rebate.
No.
Stimulus means I shut the economy. Here's some money for you to help boost it. And keep waiting. Hold your breath. Hold your breath. Please, I beg you. And go check that mailbox every day. Just like you're waiting on that $15,000, $8,000, $7,000 Doge check, because it ain't coming.
It's going to be your luck. I'm going to tell you when your check is coming. It's going to come at the same time as the rapture.
Mhm.
And so you're going to go out to your mailbox and all your clothes are going to hit the floor and you're not going to get your check.
Yep. I am so disappointed that the rapture didn't happen. You have no idea. I am so disappointed.
It may have. It's just that, you know, the majority, 8 billion people on Earth are just not good enough to take it.
I can't.
Do any other countries have any evidence on Epstein and Trump?
Other than Israel.
Israel,
The ones that were
Russia.
masterminding the whole thing.
Do any other countries have information that they'll drop,
Yeah.
that they'll reveal?
Enemies have knowledge of the children. Enemies with the mountain. Book, knowledge and secrets. Child, children. So yes, enemies.
But will they
When I
release?
say enemies, I'm also including it's not real, because you cannot convince me that just because it's on a piece of paper that they're our ally, when they have repeatedly for decades been dragging us into all sorts of stuff against our own interest, that they're a friend. No.
And they don't like Donald Trump either. They're just using him like everybody else does.
Especially what they did with Biden with his ceasefire, and they refused because it was more advantageous to them to make sure that that clown got into office, because it was more convenient to Netanyahu, not Kamala Harris. So you cannot tell me that they're our ally. Mm-mm.
I get information. I don't know about the releasing part. I get the Page of Pentacles, which is your information, but I get the Ten of Swords. And so that's not releasing. Then I got the Four of Wands, which is an institution or a house even. And then there's the Devil, tons of corruption. And then there's a Five of Swords. So I don't get releasing, at least not now. There is a place here on Earth, the Wheel of Fortune, when the regime changes, wherever that is. I just don't know where it is because there's no country names at the bottom of these cards. But when the regime changes and you get a new woman, especially as the leader, then you could see a release of information, especially around an island in the house.
I get the same thing. They've secured information, the trafficking rings and images, especially pictures, videos that include Trump. They're blocking the release right now. But until he dies and goes 6 feet under, they've got information, and even on some of the oligarchs and stuff that were in on it. Until he's gone, until he's out of there, they're not going to come together and release it, the global stuff.
Jen, can I please ask a question?
Uh-huh.
Since you guys keep getting the Back to the Mud cards. So the worms can
I
have
didn't technically. I think you're wishing that still is all.
Listen,
I got it.
you did. You just said I'm not going to go there. Okay, so I'll go there for you.
Okay.
So can we ask to word it differently? Will the couch fucker ascend to the throne this year?
For my guide's sake, I'll use his actual name.
I will refer to him as the couch fucker.
They know who that is. I just gotta use
Smoky eye couch fucker.
Revlon.
Maybe it's Maybelline. Well,
Yeah, it's funny. They were ragging on him, like, when's somebody going to track down his Grindr account number? There's some Turning Point USA meeting getting ready to happen somewhere, and people were tweeting, "Oh, we'll get Grindr ready for you."
That's a mess.
By the way, did you see that it came out? Nick Fuentes. There was a video with him walking with a guy of normal height. Nick Fuentes is only like 5'3". There's a hysterical video where this guy keeps taking him down in size until he gets him to like 1.5 feet tall. He goes, "I did that intentionally." He said, "This guy is a little weenie that still lives with his mom. Nothing against short people, but this guy's he's got an ego problem because he's got
The Napoleon complex.
So,
wait, what was your question, Becca, about the couch fucker?
Will JD Vance become president this year?
yeah, well, he ascend to the throne this year. And it's funny that you guys were talking about JD Vance because there was a bunch of dudes on right-wing stuff that are saying that they would never support JD Vance. And you know why? Because he's not attractive enough.
Like Trump was attractive?
Meanwhile, you voted. You
For asshole mouth.
the obese orange fuckwad with a dead possum on his head as a hairpiece. And you think that's attractive? It's almost like reverse homoerotica. I don't even know how to.
They're into grandpas.
I mean, they can't support JD Vance because he's not attractive enough. And I'm like, are you blind? Did you see Trump?
Well, then which one on the right is? Who are you going for exactly?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
As the thumbnail said that I wanted to post on today's video, but I was having trouble getting it to load right into YouTube. If vaginal dryness was a picture, it would be these people.
Oh my God.
You can't look at Trump, Stephen Miller, JD Vance. If vaginal dryness was a picture.
Oh my God. You don't need for birth control, ladies. Just look at a picture of those guys.
I mean,
Yeah. It's like,
And to think, how did Stephen Miller's wife even like no.
I mean, if I'd be in the bed with him, I'd pull out a thread needle and sew all any hole you got in your body, sew it up.
Not even with the lights all the way off. No.
There's no paper bag big enough to put over that.
He is disgusted.
His head, dude, his forehead alone looks like those aliens from what movie was that? Where the aliens, the cartoon aliens, had that big glass on their head, Invasion of Mars or whatever. That's what he looks like.
I mean, not to mention, you just look in his eyes, and I tell you, he looked like he has squirrels in his basement because he's in there.
Oh my God! Did you guys hear? Squirrels in the basement. Did you guys hear about the guy in Pennsylvania that just got arrested? They found over 100 bodies in his basement.
Skeletons. He was digging up skeletons out of the graveyard or some crazy mess like that.
And some of them were still in stages of decomposing.
He's probably Stephen Miller Jr. Because
Yeah,
that
he's
sounds like
got his
something
own little body farm in his basement.
Oh, I get a yes. I get a yes on the couch fucker ascending to the throne. The lilies, the whip, the key. Yes. After someone goes for rest and relaxation, but the backlash is going to be huge against him. Huge.
Yes. Ace of Pentacles, Three of Cups. Opportunity for growth and celebration, or reasons for celebration. We'll see.
Yes, but he won't be accepted. He's a big yes. When Trump is done,
Back to the mud.
exit stage left, gone to another dimension, out of there. Yes, but he's going to get bullied a lot because nobody likes.
If you examine his life, though, Donald Trump, who would he pick as his VP? Because he didn't pick Vance and he didn't pick Pence either. Those were selected for him. So who would he bring in? Ivanka or John Jr.? Like, he doesn't know anybody. That's his friend.
He thinks it's just him. That he doesn't
his
need
own
a
VP.
He's his
And
own
this
VP.
last one he tried to have killed.
You know what? That would be fantastic right about now, because if he was his own VP, if he did croak, then in the midterms, if it all turned out the way it was supposed to, Hakeem Jeffries would be president. I mean, not that that's the greatest thing in the world, but it's better than Trump.
Anything is better than Trump at this point, dude.
I mean,
A smashed bag of dog shit is better than Trump at this point. With just as much as effectiveness. They sit around and do nothing.
yeah,
At least it won't be causing chaos all over the world.
it has a purpose. It'll feed the flies.
Yeah.
And then again, he had a purpose too. He'd feed the flies too. Just give it time.
Oh,
It's kind of funny because it seems like Don Jr. and Eric have gone very quiet.
it's probably because they got that super chlamydia.
I was going to say because they're doing corrupt business, but yeah, maybe that too.
They got the super chlamydia. That's probably
They probably confiscated all the drugs from South America. Oh my God. Why are they quiet?
They're doing business. There's some kind of thing, remember, that the government allowed them to do, or Don Jr. is connected to something that just got a government contract or some crap
Yeah.
like that. And Jared
Well-
Kushner is trying to develop hotels in 2 foreign countries, one being Gaza, for the Trump family.
Watch Venezuela will be next.
Yeah.
You know what I found weird? And it wasn't me finding it on my own. It was the internet sleuths on TikTok. The Maduro arrest pictures. That man had 4 or 5 different outfit changes in the span of his arrest. And then he's on one of them, he's sitting there with 2 thumbs up. I'm like, wow, you look really happy to be kidnapped. Because he wasn't arrested. We literally, dictator or not, we kidnapped him. And if we're in the business of kidnapping dictators, somebody come get this guy. Please. This guy and his whole team.
Well, it's almost like he knows he'll get off on the charges under U.S. laws, but he's rescued from Venezuela so he can go down to some Caribbean island with his wife and live out the rest of his life in relaxation.
Hmm.
I just
Because
can't.
if they really wanted to remove Maduro, why didn't they remove his whole regime? They still have the regime in place, so it's still crooked.
Yeah. And now then I saw a report that said the reason he went after Venezuela was because the lady that won the prize didn't give it to him.
Oh, she's supposedly visiting him this week and bringing her Nobel Prize. So I'm assuming she's going to give it to him.
She can give it to him. The Nobel Peace Prize
Doesn't
company
transfer.
corporation said it
Yeah.
doesn't transfer, so
And-
you can
and
do
you-
whatever you want to. but-
You already got your little peace prize from FIFA.
Yeah.
Why you want another? I just, oh my God.
You got your participation trophy from the soccer people.
A more stupid, incompetent, petty, childish moron in my life. An entire sports organization had to make up a whole award for you stupid ass, and then you're throwing a fit because you didn't get the real one. Now you're bullying them to give it to you.
Jimmy Kimmel won a Critics' Choice Award last week, and he said, "Now I know it's not the FIFA Peace Prize, but thank you for this."
Have you guys been watching the South Park since all this? Because I don't have cable; I got rid of it, so I'm wondering.
I watched
what
some
South
of
Park
them
is doing.
before my. I had trouble with my.
Because South Park has got, dude, The Onion should sue Trump because they've literally taken all their material away. Remember when his first term, when everybody thought The Onion was psychic because they were just writing off the wall stuff, and then Trump would do it, and you're like, oh my God, they're psychic. And now he's taken away all their stuff because it's so ridiculous you can't even make it up.
Well, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which donates, to PBS and NPR radio and all that, they've announced that they're shutting down. I believe it's in August. They're shutting down this year because Republicans killed all the funding for them. PBS and NPR are going to try to keep going based on donations, but they're going to depend on more donations coming to them directly. I kind of wanted to ask, will the Corporation for Public Broadcasting get up and running again under a Democratic president? I'm going to ask that real quick before we go off air. PBS NewsHour ends tonight. Wow.
I think so, yes, but under a different name eventually, so it may not be called what it's called now. So it may be bought or rebranded or something like that. But it comes back initially as that. But there's a high priestess, the Wheel of Fortune. So yes, the Ace of Wands, yes, and the Sun, yes. It's just it may go through a transformation at some point.
They have an abundance of support for them. I agree. I think they'll be back eventually. Because right now they're severely burdened by not having enough funding, enough coming in. But I get they'll get to higher ground and come back, move forward.
Can we ask one quick question?
Mm-hmm.
Because the way to solve all this shit and the way to solve the entire nightmare that is Fox News is to reinstate the fairness doctrine. That thank you, Ronald Reagan, for dismantling that along with your laundry list of accomplishments. Can we ask, will the fairness doctrine be reenacted?
Reenacted.
Last week we read on CBS News and I asked, would it become more right-wing? And we got yes. And today or yesterday or whatever day it was, they went off the air by praising Marco Rubio. So there's that.
So, because that's one quick, super easy, quick way to fix all this shit.
All the lies on Fox
All
News.
the lies on the left and on the right, more so on the right. Because don't get me wrong, corporate Democratic media fools you too, but not at the level that those over there do. But
A good judgment. Queen of Swords, which would be a statute or legal something of some sort. The Five of Cups and the Ten of Swords, I say no.
You say
There's
what?
profit in lies.
You said no?
No, there's profit in lies.
I get the man, the ring, and the bouquet. There has to be a man who is going to commit and promise to do the thing. He needs to be committed to it and also award it in some way, shape, or form. Because we've seen what it can do. Now that it's gone, Trump is doing what all fascists do and trying to have state-controlled media.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter if you're NBC, CBS, CNN, PBS, NPR. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And there's no law that prevents it. Fox News has been poisoning the brains of people. Fox News is doing to an entire generation what our parents told us violent video games would do to us. Fox News has done to an entire generation of people because it just goes unchecked. So I guess that a man needs to be committed to it and reward it, award it, bring it back.
I mean, it's kind of like the same thing to me as Citizens United to get the money out of politics too. That somebody's got to be committed to it and get it reversed. So changing it, yeah, they could be successful at doing it, but it's a ways off in the future. Right now, they've got an abundance of people that like the lies and the betrayals and everything, and the conspiracies and all of that. I think eventually we're going to have a leader, and I think it'll be a female leader that inspires across the aisle to bring it back. When morality comes back, Trump said this week, the only thing that will reel him in is his own morality.
He doesn't.
He
have
has none.
He has none.
So
We're talking about a
God
man
help us.
nothing
that
will reel him in.
trafficked children.
I mean,
Rapist,
you
pedophile,
can't get no more evil than that.
crook.
Trafficked children, killing people. Well, he
Fraud.
didn't do it personally, but he had people killing other people.
Lord have mercy.
Literally stealing money from children with cancer.
Mm-hmm. And that's, mind you, that's proven. It's not even like this whole
That's not
there's where
speculation.
the smoke the fire. He got convicted of such a thing, right?
Yeah,
Convicted.
that's not speculation. That's documented in court where there is evidence that needs to be presented. It was undisputed. He stole money from children that had cancer.
Mhm.
We can speculate at this point, because 1 + 1 = 2, that Trump personally profiteered off of selling children to perverts for money.
But his morality stops him.
And
His-
somehow he is the
Because they said,
paragon.
what would cause you to they were talking to him about international law and U.S. laws. And he said, only my own morality, meaning nothing's going to stop me. So get ready, guys, but watch towards the end of the month what's going on.
Yeah, get your Cheetos, get your voodoo dolls, get an elf on the shelf, stab it, catch it on fire, run it over with your car. It doesn't matter. If it works, I don't know. It'll make you feel better because of catharsis. That's a thing. Catharsis is a thing.
It
Wonder if I should
releases
get
a lot of
some
stress.
Lord have mercy.
Next week we'll be on Becca's channel, House of Lenormand. If you're not subscribed to her, get over there and subscribe so you can chat in the chat with us.
Yeah.
For new subscribers, we rotate around every week. So next week we're on Becca's channel. The next week after that, we'll be on Johnny's channel. Please visit us on all 3 channels.
And you better believe if that son of a bitch croaks between now and next Sunday, we will be partying on somebody's channel. We will be freaking partying.
All of them. We'll do a group broadcast.
I'm not reading cards because this will be full of vodka. So
I'm saying, Johnny, I'll be over here laid out trying to crochet with one eye open, hitting vodka, hitting whiskey.
we're talking about slur and speech.
I don't even drink, but I will be shit-faced when that day comes. Let me tell you.
Mm-mm-mm.
Well, have a wonderful week, guys. And
Thanks everybody for the super chats to Jenny tonight.
thank you very much. And we will see you next week on House of Lenormand.